This is Steve Schiffman, and I want to thank you for joining me again today for another podcast, webcast, that does only one thing, and that's to help you sell better. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier. Why didn't I do this earlier? I've written 70 books. I've put out so much material. I've talked to so many people. I've lectured all over the world, 43 different countries, 9,000 companies. And yet this is probably the most important thing that I'm doing. A good friend of mine called me. He was one of my clients a long time ago, but became my really best friend. And he called me and he said, you know, do more of this. Tell people more about those things that you believe in, because you know it, you understand sales, and most people really need that help. Now, I don't know that everybody needs that help or that everybody is getting benefit, but I do think that I have an obligation, and I hope you agree, just to give you the facts. No, I'm not going to give you dribble. I've told you that before. I'm not going to give you 45 other guys talking about selling so you can hear how they made it and they're making $1 billion a year, which isn't real. Instead, I want to talk to you about what you do every day and how you do it. I think it's important. This is Sales 101, Sales 101, not junk. I don't want to give you junk. By the way, don't forget to contact me. If you want to have the opportunity to win a book, all you got to do is write to me, email or call me, and simply say rubber stamp. If you, and this, by the way, is a paid rubber stamp. If you say rubber stamp, you get a chance to win a book. And the book this time is The Big Bang, which is one of my favorite books. It has been out for, I don't know, 20 years maybe. It has sold out every place it goes. It's one of the books that we give out. It's just a fantastic little book. It's 14 days of how to improve your sales. Tells you exactly what to do. Day 1, day 2, day 3, 4. Just tells you what to do, and it's something you should have. We call it a vest pocket book because it's small. It's easy to carry. So if you want that book, and I'll send it to you if you win, you got to write to me, though. And also, please pass these podcasts, webcasts on to somebody that you know who might benefit, who might say, you know, I really appreciate that. That's the way we grow, and that's the way you grow. You help people grow. Help people do what they do better. Sound familiar? Listen, I read something the other day, and I want to read it to you now. It was on social media, and I picked it off, and I said, you know, this is something kind of interesting. It's hard to wait for something you know might never happen. But it's even harder to give up when you know it's everything you want. Listen to that again. It's hard to wait for something you know might never happen, but it's even harder to give up when you know it's everything you want. Does that resonate with you? Is that something that you think about? That you're trying so hard to accomplish your goals, and you know it's there, you can reach it, you can touch it, but it's just an inch away? I met with somebody recently, and he told me what he wanted to accomplish. What I do is when I coach individuals, which you're welcome to join me in, I ask them, where are you now in terms of your income? I don't want to know really what their income is, but what I want to know is, how much more money do you want to make? In other words, I want to know the difference between what you're making now and where you want to be. For some people, it's $10,000. Other people, it's $150,000. For some people, it's $1 million. But I want to know what that gap is. What's the gap? And how do you fill the gap? Is it 5 sales, 10 sales, 15 sales, 100 sales? Is it building a company out where you have 150 people working with you? That's up to you. But you need to know that. So I was dealing with somebody today, coaching, and I said that. And he said to me, you know, that's a hard question. And I said to myself, well, is it really? I don't know, maybe it is. I don't think it's a hard question. I'll ask you the same thing. Where are you now versus where you want to be? Is that such a hard question? I think you know the answer. You want to make this much more money. That gap is everything. Because if you know the gap, if you understand the gap, if you understand where you are in relationship to that gap, you can fill in the blanks. You can say, okay, if I made 5 more sales, every week, or 5 more sales every month, or 5 more sales every year, I'll get to that number. But you need to know that number. You need to know what the gap is. Most people don't. I want to ask that question and go, I don't know. But you see, the reason I read this to you, it's even harder to give up when you know it's everything you want. That last line is what's crucial, when you know it's everything you want. I talk to people who really don't want to be successful. Not everybody is. Not everybody wants to be. Not everybody wants to be a leader or thought of as a leader. You don't have to be. Nobody says you have to be the number one salesperson. I'm not even sure that it's right to push that. Really? Do you have to be number one? Do you have to walk around with a sign on your back, number one? Is that really important? Or is making a living more important, and supporting your family important? Having a house and a car important? Having some things that you really enjoy? Are those the things that really make you happy? Is number one really the thing that you want to be? I'll bet you it's not. I'll bet you that money is not the motivator. Every single manager I've ever met, every sales manager I've ever met has said to me, the number one motivator for his or her salespeople is money. They all say that. It's money. They want to make more money. That's it, make more money. They all say that to me. And I go, well, maybe not. Maybe that isn't what you want. Maybe it isn't what you really want to achieve. Maybe you want to have a good reputation as being a solid, honest person. Maybe you want to be recognized as somebody who's helped other people. Maybe that's important to you. And this job, whatever job it is, allows you to do that. Is that really so wrong? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think money was my objective. I don't think money is really your objective. Now, you can tell me it is. And it's easy. See, it's an easy answer. It's what everybody expects you to say. Money. Give me money. Where's the money? Give me money. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's at all. I think it's the gap. But the gap, when I ask that, then I ask, well, what would you do with that additional money? Oh, well, I would buy a house, buy a car, take care of my parents. Whatever they say, it doesn't matter. Because that's really what they want that money for, is to do that other thing. That's the goal. The goal is not the dollar sign or the pound sign or the yen sign. It's not that. The goal is really to accomplish something and use that money for that. See, I think motivation is all screwed up. I think people try to motivate you by telling you, hey, you can make an additional $10,000 this year. And you go, really? Do I want that? Now, I know I'm going to get in trouble. I know that the managers who listen to this podcast or webcast are going to say, no, you're wrong. They want money. No, first of all, they doesn't exist. It's you and me are salespeople. We're not they. We're not some commodity thing. We're people. And we want to be treated like people. And we want to be treated with respect for what we do. One of the people that I coach tells me that his manager ignores him. I go, why? He said, I don't know. He just does. He ignores me. I come in, make a sale. I go out, make another sale. I bring it in. I don't bring it. He says, doesn't care. Well, that's not a motivator. You know that, and I know that. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to think about that gap. What's the difference between the money you're making now, and you can easily look on your tax return and you'll see what you're paying, what you made, and how much money, more money, do you want to make? How many sales does that take? How much more time does it take for you to do that? But then, and only then, decide if it's worth it. Yeah, big contradiction there, isn't it? Decide if it's worth it. You may not find it's worth it. You may find that working in the church, working, help people, working in the Boy Scouts, working in a choir is a lot more fun and a lot more fulfilling than making additional $10,000 or whatever it is. I know this is all hearsay. This is terrible, Harrison. This is terrible. Because I'm contradicting every single thing that every manager, that every motivational person has ever told you. It's not about the money. It's what you're going to do with the money. Remember, you want to win a book? Just send me a note. Say, rubber stamp. That's all you got to say. You want to be coached, you want to find some things, and I can tell you some stuff, call me. We do a great program. 5 weeks, and it really works well. We get a 20% increase in sales, if that matters. Sometimes it doesn't. It's up to you. Right now, it's up to you what you're going to do with this additional money that you can make. See, if you really want it, you can do it. So this is Steve Schiffman. Thank you very much for joining me today. And as always, you honor me by your presence.